awkward duo of supports too. So.
It's not often you see a supporting cast both melee and all the core's range. But that's what we have this game.
Yeah, but the good thing of this Enchantress is that she benefits heavily from the Drow. So you have Invoker who will benefit from the Drow Ranger, and then you have Enchantress too. You have these two ranged heroes that do get buffed up quite heavily by the Drow Ranger's aura.
Game 1. Winner of this series, again, goes to the winner bracket of the playoffs. Loser will have a decider match to decide if they get to also go to the winner bracket or bounce down to the lower bracket eventually. That's what's on the line. Tips coming out. TNC having fun with it.
Actually, very interesting. They're going towards the enemy safe lane as a tri-lane with the Drow, Shaker, and Tree sending Enchantress on safe lane. That's not peculiar. We'll see how that works out for them. Drow Ranger isn't really the best hero in tri-lanes.
Look at this. KP says, "What trees? I destroy your friends." Yeah, this is not going to be a fun tree game.
Yeah, he tips him. You know, I took your trees, but I'm gonna give you the tip.
Oh, sorry, that's something else that's really interesting, by the way. 897 is Exort. It's been a while since we've seen this.
I'm actually also surprised considering he has a Drow Ranger, right?
Yeah.
And you have a Drow, and Quaswex actually works really well with her. But all right, goes for Exort.
Yeah, part of me wonders if it's mainly a case of, oh, by the way, good job, 3 bounty runes. They managed to get good fissure there to help secure this one. But it's, again, you look at the lineup, the cores that they have, this Invoker is going to need to be the true carrier for the team in the end. At least that's what EHOME's perhaps going for. Go the Exort, allow Invoker to just sit back and, not allow, but that's what he'll be focused more on, just the farm game, not looking to get involved with the Quaswex build that we see a lot lately instead.
Yeah, you need some magic damage, I guess. You know, overall you need damage on this lineup. You will have the right clicks from the Enchant, the Drow, but some extra, let's say, meatballs coming from the sky would be pretty good too.
So this tri-lane, putting pressure on Gabby, who again, position 1 Night Stalker. Called it correctly there, but look at that.
Oh, he might die.
Damage. Yeah, he is fine, but he's going to have to pop a salve, and early regen coming out. That's going to be a difficult lane for Gabby.
Yeah. When you're playing versus a tree and protector as a melee core, you always feel pressured like this. Even though they did take down the trees on the left side, sadly the creep wave is close enough to tree, and they're able to zone out Night Stalker a little bit early on.
See March getting harassed as well. There is rotation coming in though. Zeus Timms is going to go for the pull. Get a nice one out of it. Meanwhile, you also have Earthshaker rotating with those brown boots of his. We'll see the pull. And truly have a try versus try lane down here now.
Yeah, on the top lane, I think Enchantress is super fine versus Beastmaster. So this should benefit EHOME a little bit, I believe. As long as they don't lose the tri lane, that's it. Also, keep in mind that they always have that Sunstrike to work with, so that's a bonus advantage that they've got.
March, 2-minute coming in, and will not get the stack thanks to a block of tree being there. Smart heads up, of course. Earthshaker, he's running away as Zeus found him. Zeus with a 4 mango, so he's not afraid to spam with that lightning bolt of his.
Tree might be in problems here even. He's taking so much damage. One more Thunderbolt, and there we go. He's dead. Lightning Bolt. I mean, you can't deal with that Elder Titan like that. You can't let him attack you so many times. He has the Astral Spirit and the passive, so he's dealing out quite a lot of damage if you let him get those stacks up. Top lane, KP might fall here.
Yeah, he's dead. So they tied up. Good rotation, of course, from ZenQ. You mentioned Enchantress setting up to have a pretty favorable lane. 9-3 against a 10-1 Beastmaster, though, so actually very even CS-wise right now, but of course a good kill.
Yeah, overall that's mainly because of the creep equilibrium. Enchantress was pressuring him all the time, but at the same time pushing in the lane, so he was farming the tower. However, the problem is if you're rotating with Shaker so much, you have this dual lane on the bottom lane with Drow and Tree, and Drow shouldn't have as good of a time as she had in that first few waves.
KP, he's running away up here.
Mid lane? Can they dive him now? They hope not to. KP, however, yeah. He has the Quelling Blade, so he should be fine.
I like the mosquito buzz coming out there. As he takes a
Was
stun.
pretty close. Was pretty close. They could have blocked him on the other side, but chances are very unlikely that they take him down anyway.
Yeah. 897 mid lane, using that micro on the Forged Spear. Doesn't want to give up a kill, of course, so pulls it back. Armor comes in from Tree, so expect to see more of that as the game goes on, too. Let's have that level 1 armor now currently as a regen room.
Did he actually?
Wait.
He actually denied it? They let him deny it. That's very...
Wow.
Yeah. He actually denied it with the Force. I expected them to take it. At least take it, and then the Force Spirit kills the region. But they greeded out. They wanted to kill him and then take the region so that he cannot cancel it. Yeah, understandable, but backfired. And also, this Invoker on the mid lane is doing fairly well. Like, he's falling behind on the CS, but he's never really super endangered by the Gyrocopter, right? Like, he can never dive him because there's always the Force Spirit to work with. So
yeah.
That's definitely a good help.
One of the... it's 5-minute patterns coming out, by the way. Looks like we are going to have a 2-for-2 and not much clashing after the fact either. But one of the benefits of usually with going for Exort would be the stronger laning phase presence. So, is he in trouble here? Yeah, he's just going to dive and goes for the TP. And he is successfully TPs to the tier 2 tower, and he pops a salve. So he's good to go. But meanwhile, KP, he's fine. But yeah, I go back to that point of... I don't know, is he really doing that well? He's 15-5 against a 28-13 Gyrocopter. That's not good.
It's not great, definitely. But I've seen some of these matchups in which Gyro would completely dominate Boss Wax Invoker and dive him and kill him with one rotation from Zeus. Overall, he stayed alive. Is it perfect? Yeah, I completely agree. Definitely not.
How about Gabby, by the way? This dude is unfavorable lane matchup early on, but he is now top CS in the game, and it is nighttime, by the way, our first nighttime of the game, so there's that. It's looking good.
This is the hero definitely to look out for. Like, usually how he plays is he doesn't rotate way too much with this Night Stalker early on until he gets his Zags. But in a game such as this one, I believe that's also an option for him. He can just continue rotating and chasing this Drow Ranger down. On the other hand, like, I don't think they respect the power that TNC will have in the mid game on the side of EHOME, that is, because Enchantress, I believe she's building into a Midas. Yeah, that's a Midas completed for her.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out. KP, by the way, Sunstrike set up perfectly. The enchant slow allows 897 to get the easy Sunstrike kill in the end, and 2-1 hero kill lead for EHOME. That kind of goes back to that point of I was expecting Invoker, honestly, to go to Midas, being this Exort build. So if he too goes to Midas, yeah, talk about a greedy game right now.
That would be way too greedy. Like, if he goes for Midas, they'll just lose, I think. Like, he has to brush an Ags or something like that. I don't know. Going Midas would be too much, but he might just do it. I mean, sometimes when you're Enchantress and you have a really good laning stage, like, you can afford to go for Midas and still scale fairly well. It's one of those heroes that's super hard to take down in the mid game, so it doesn't truly matter too much what you have. But if he had the Force Staff, perhaps that could help them quite a lot versus Night Stalker after he has that Aghanim's and Crippling Fear, right? That's why I'm thinking. But overall, if you know that Gabi is going to just chill out and wait until he has his Aghanim's, then you can read out as well and hope for the best, right, to match his pace later on.
Tree right here, he's going to get the counter ward off with that Quelling Blade in hand, so good job. And some mind games certainly happening right there in the dire jungle, but eventually Gabby has to fall back and continue his farm towards that early Ags, as you'd called. Again, this idea, you just enhance that void that much stronger because of getting the earlier Ags. It does sound pretty crazy. I can't say I've seen this position 1 Ags rush build before, but I am excited for sure to see what Gabby does with it. Top?
Teams. He does have a port to work with.
Oh.
But there's a Centaur, so he's just dead, yeah.
Yeah, good enchant slow right there as the Sunstrike was coming out. It's good coordination on the part of EHOME. Make sure to land the Sunstrike and secure that. 897, he's not giving us information. He's sitting on 1,500 gold. Nothing's queued up currently, so I wonder if he's still thinking as well.
I guess it is Midas, right? If you're saving up this much,
yeah.
At this point, I guess you might just get the Midas, get it over with. You have 2 Midases, hope for the best, go for late game. You are playing versus a Beastmaster and Gyro, though. They will pressure you super hard early on, and I don't know. We'll see if these Midases will pay off. It's always dangerous. It's always the double-edged sword, right? Like, if you manage to hold for some time, like, that Midas pays off, but if you don't, like, you just lose all map control and the Midas doesn't matter any longer. And also Midas as an item has been nerfed quite hard. It's not nearly as strong as it used to be.
Sure.
It's more expensive. It's just,
you don't like it, and then that's fair. It's completely understandable, but yeah, he's sitting on almost 2,000 gold, so it is very safe to say that the Midas is going to be coming as well for Invoker here. But also, you mentioned the Beastmaster, the Gyro, but this Night Stalker too. This is a very fast lineup. And speaking of that, Gabby, he pops that Hunter, then he gets the kill on Tree, dodges the Sunstrike just enough to survive. KP went too far up himself. Primal War's not going to save him. Elder Titan, cold snaps, will stop. Gabby's poking in, is unable to do much else though, so maybe a little too deep for TNC. A couple of kills more for EHOME.
2 kills for the Drow Ranger, and they only fed the Treant, right? So overall, a pretty good trade for them. But this is all happening before Gabi gets his Aghanims. He has 1,500 gold almost with the Ogre Axe, halfway there. But yeah, pretty good by EHOME so far. 1k ahead when it comes to net worth, 5 kills, 5-2, and they will take down this tier 1 on the bottom lane most likely. There's no nighttime to work with as Gabi pretty much is out of mana and that cooldown is there.
Mentioned the idea of a 4-staff being pretty good for EHOME, and you got Drow. She's going to go the Hurricane Pike, and I'm guessing Enchantress is going to do that as well. It does have the Dragonlance queued up, so they'll eventually get to those Hurricane Pikes. It's certainly going to be powerful tools.
Yeah, you need those forces. You need as many 4-staff as possible. But one good thing is that they realize that usually how TNC plays around this Night Stalker is that they wait for his Aghanims, and because of that, what they did is, I've seen some teams decide to go all in and try to win the game in the mid game before he gets online, but it backfires. Like, you take a lot of objectives across the map, you don't close the game out, he gets Aghanims and you lose. So they're trying a bit of a different approach with 2 Midases. They're still taking objectives, but they're also making sure that they'll be able to scale fairly well too. So even though TNC, they have proven so many times that their Night Stalker is crazy good, they're definitely in for a pickle later on.
March, he's going to stall what he can here in the mid lane. Of course, you're dealing with this Drow lineup, the 3 cores around. Certainly can push towers pretty effectively, but now with Gyrocopter also showing up, that'll be a deterrent.
It's so good that you're able to push even though you have 2 Midases, right? It's pretty legit.
897, he continues to farm in the jungle again with the early Midas. He's got the axe queued up now, so a bit more old school, we'll call it, build for the Evoker of a couple years ago even. But they're also working on those Hurricane Pikes as mentioned. So the Ags, a couple of Hurricane Pikes, and that seems like that's going to be a nice power point for EHOME. But we do have a second nighttime coming up in about 2 more minutes or so. And that lined up with the Ags pickup for Night Stalker. So it continues to be, that's the focus, it feels like, in this game right now. And hell, you even have an Ags coming for Gyrocopter, by the way. We really haven't talked a lot about him. But Armel, he's almost got it. Not almost, but he is working on it.
We have Ags on him. Nothing really special on the Beastmaster or the other heroes like Zeus, your Arcane Boots, perhaps Satterland soon, Elder Titan, whatever, doesn't really have a lot, just boots. So yeah, pretty much everything will come together for the Gyro and the Night Stalker in this next nighttime. And it's insane how much Night Stalker has been able to get, and has been able to farm, considering what a rough start he had in the first few waves.
And it's
You're
daytime.
playing versus a tree, yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive, but clearly something that he has done before. And he is in the mid lane right now, helping to defend this tower once again. They're doing a decent job at deterring them enough. I mean, it's 14 minutes in. They lost the bottom tier 1, but they've kept this mid up for now. So of course,
yeah, the map control definitely hasn't been lost by TNC, and that tier 1 on the bottom lane, it's something you expect to lose earlier, right? Like, you expect to lose it before minute 10 even, during that first night. So overall, losing 1 tower so far with a lineup that's as greedy as theirs isn't too bad. But considering there's 2 Midases on EHOME, it's understandable, definitely.
Oh, top lane. KP, he's in trouble. They root on to start. Tree and Protector trying to set this up. Cold Snap's coming in, and with the huge rotation, Xingqiu will get credit for the last hit, so no chance to survive at that point for KP. 4 players though to kill the Beastmaster.
4-man rotation, which is really good, as runes are about to spawn, bounty runes on the top lane, so perhaps they can control both of them. Both of these, let's see. It looks like they won't try, as Drow and Tree are on the bottom lane. He actually gets it? What?
Yeah, he actually got in there.
Yeah, I was sure Tree was closer there, even with the lack of movement speed. I thought he got it. All right. 3 for 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're the ones that lost the player, yet they still get 3 bounty hits. And here we go. Look at Invoker. He's in trouble. The science is up. It finally wears off, though. He gets his Ghost Walk, but they have the Dust, of course. The call down, not even really needed, just to secure it. And Faith Beyond also dropping because of it, too. Flying on top of him, he also falls. And this Night Stalker says, yes, it's nighttime, and you're all my food. Earthshaker, you're not getting away. Double kill now for Gabby, and it's like, you know, we saw this coming from a mile away. It's now happening.
We just saw it happen so many times before in so many TNs. The same thing. Gabby gets his Aghanims, and they just instantly afterwards. Like, it looked like EHOME had a decent game, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, 2 Midases, they were getting pick-offs, pressuring objectives. The moment Night Stalker gets the Axe, everything changes. You lose your 2 cores, you lose another support with it. It's just a completely different game from this moment onwards. And from this moment onwards, it's on EHOME to try and stay alive, to try and farm up their 4 staffs, their items like the Aghanims on the Invoker that they so desperately will need. Bot lane? 3?
Yeah. You're dead. This is where the game really gets difficult for Tree now. If it wasn't already. Obviously, you have Zeus enhancing his farm quite a bit. He's got 2,500 gold. Tim's just going to eventually just click that Ags and put it in his inventory, too. Again, the support Zeus. Certainly something to worry about. But, yeah, we keep being so focused on this Night Stalker for good reason. But, by the way, Gyrocopter's leading the farm right now and has his own Ags. And he is TPing middle. Looks like TNC wants to make a play over here.
Yeah, Gabby looks like he wants to make a play. He's so deep. Like, considering where his teammates are, he's going much deeper, and he definitely can. It's nighttime after all.
Yeah, I mean...
There is
Yep.
1 Force Staff on the Drow Ranger, so that's something that can help you out against him, but it's not enough.
Dark Ascension is almost off cooldown, 10 more seconds. They'll have that free mobility. Sees the Earthshaker there, who's going to do some counter warding in the meantime. But Drow, he'll lead the way middle lane, pushing it in. You mentioned the Force Staff he has, but still, yeah, I was going to say, he needs to be somewhat careful. Gets the Force Staff off, though, and gets away.
They see Gabi on the top lane, and when you see the Night Stalker, you can play on the other side of the map, but that's pretty much the only place where you can play at the moment. You don't want to be fighting into him. And Gabi, he's doing this Aghanims BKB Blink Dagger build, which pretty much destroys anyone that needs to use some mobility-based ability, like Invoker with Ghost Walk, let's say, or Gush from VT Fade. It's something that can get you away from the Night Stalker. Once he pops that BKB and blinks on top of you, you can't pretty much escape any longer.
Yeah. There's the axe finished on Invoker, so talk about some key items. Certainly one there for EHOME. And they do have these minuses continuing to work, so yes, it was impressive. We saw the 15-minute mark, and Gabby ran them over, got 3 kills, or at least for the team right there. But here we are now, 3 minutes later, and not much else has happened yet, and that's more gold being farmed up from the Dire side. We might have an engagement. Tornado connects on a march, and that's a free kill for them, so they find Elder Titan, get a little sneaky there, as Gabby is a little too far.
Yeah, the thing is, we've seen the Aghanim pick up by the Night Stalker, and instantly they pounce. They got a couple of kills, but it's not super necessary for them to do that. Not instantly, at least, because what this Aghanims does to Gabby, it allows him to farm really fast. So with the Aghanims, you as a Night Stalker can actually boost your farm quite heavily. It's a really team fighting oriented item, but at the same time it helps you out when it comes to farming quite a lot too. 897, good tornado.
Nice wall. Gonna force Gabby to fly around it, and is not going to chase with too much supporting cast nearby. Because it's not
Gyro is on the other side of the map, Zeus as well, so they decide not to go for that.
Zeus almost has that X, by the way. All he needs is the point booster. He's just about there. 20-minute runes.
I'll take that.
And good take from VT Faded. Manages to snatch it up before anyone else gets down here. So it is going to be a 2 for 2.
I think that's a Blink Dagger with the bounty runes taken. That should be a Blink for the Shaker too, right? They have some extra initiation abilities on the side of EHOME. But BKBs are being built. BKB almost done on Night Stalker. Same can be said for Armel, as he's just like 1,000 short.
Dark Ascension on cooldown for 70 seconds, and it just hit daytime, so Night Stalker not too interested in fighting right now. And you know, we talk about all the time how the opposition fighting around cooldowns. That certainly feels like one of those timings if you're EHOME, where, okay, Dark Ascension cooldown, it's daytime, this is a time to maybe make a play, but they're not necessarily looking like that's going to be the case, although Drell's pressuring mid lane a little bit once again. She'll fall back. Nope,
he's actually going in.
Okay, folds, gets it, Pramaror. And the follow-up, is it going to be enough damage? The homing missile connects, and down goes Drow. Meanwhile, top lane, they kill Night Stalker, though, and they get the tower. So I think EHOME certainly wins that exchange.
Yeah, overall, you killed the Night Stalker, who you were so afraid of, and you slowed down his BKB progression. At the same time, you did lose Drow mid, and it's the similar situation. She's also building into the BKB. They tip each other, and they're like, yeah, we screwed up. It's understandable, both of these cores. I think Drow Ranger might have screwed up a bit more, going for that tier 1 on the mid lane, but I guess he expected the Beastmaster to be somewhere else. He just died so easily there. They actually didn't even understand why he's dying so easily and why he has no support around him, because if you saw the way Gyro was moving in and out of that, you know, like he goes in the river, uses the rocket barrage, but then moves out a bit like, wait, this is a trap, right?
Yeah, Zeus now with the axe finished. Saw that Nimbus Cloud online. But again, it feels like the next nighttime is really what TNC is waiting to happen. And so obviously EHOME on the other side of the spectrum there in terms of, okay, well, this continues to be our time to have some freedom, make some plays. Dark Ascension is ready to go with that in mind. And the BKB is not finished yet, but almost has it. So speaking of Gabby, about 300 gold away.
Yeah, he should have it very soon. BKB on Gabby, and then we'll see a fight around that next nighttime, as you just said. I also want to see just how strong this Enchantress will be with the BKB and Alacrity from Invoker, because you have the Precision Aura, right? You have 120 attack speed from that, and then you're gonna have Alacrity on top of it. Like, this Enchantress is going to be a Gatling gun with her impetuses. So maybe that's the necessary amount of damage that they'll need to take down the Night Stalker.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually when you're playing versus her, what you have to be thinking about is, I mean, when you're playing against anything, when you're playing every single game, you're thinking about where to take your fights. But when you're playing versus Enchantress, if you're taking a fight on your high ground, it's so good because it prevents her from perhaps even seeing uphill, but also missing a lot of her attacks. It's good.
Here we go. The Roshan being done by TNC. BKB just delivered to Gabby. They're basically telling EHOME, come stop us, please. That's not going to happen. Sunstrike scouts it out at the last second. Maybe even try to steal the Roshan kill. Either way, not the case. Armel picks up the Aegis, playing the Gyrocopter, and TNC is going to spread from there. But another minute, and not only will we have the bounty spawn, but of course nighttime coming out. And Night Stalker is certainly ready for that. We mentioned the BKB, and now the Blink has been queued up for him to follow. There's a Maelstrom pickup for Gyrocopter, so enhancing that farm a bit now. And going to start becoming more of that right-click gyro to take them into the later game, if that's where we end up going at this rate.
Yeah. If you click on the Night Stalker, you'll see not only the blink queued up, but a nullifier too, and that's pretty much the state of the game, which becomes impossible for any hero to play against the Night Stalker, right? He blinks on you, he crippling fears you, so you're silenced, and then he nullifies you. It's pretty much a following Doom on top of you. It's impossible to deal with, and Force Staffs won't help you unless it's from your teammates saving you. However, top lane smoke.
Looking for the spanner in play. Here we go. Enchantress are going to jump. Not the easiest of kills. It's the magic damage. Is it there with the BKB? No, it's not, and Drow's also going to hold them off. Look at Armel still wants to go in, but Armel's going to die because of this. The Aegis down, popping. Gabby, he's in now, however. Another BKB. This one on VT Faded. He's going to have to TP out after, which he'll do. So the only death ends up being Zeus on the Radiant side, who died elsewhere. Of course, a Aegis kill as well. 897.
He has the dust.
He sure does.
He caught him with the dust. 897. He might fall here. He might be the secondary target to fall, it seems. He does take down one bounty rune on the other side, though.
Hey, he does get taken out. You mentioned, though, March also getting picked off in the backlines, however, from EHOME. So they're doing a good job of still making numbers happen. Y almost getting the jump on a Gyrocopter, but a little bit too far as Drow and Enchantress were in the area. So, yeah, that's Enchantress it feels like it's probably the worst target to jump here if you're TNC, and kind of played out that way.
Yep. She only survived because she had that BKB, right? And she popped it. The 10-second one, so... Oh, another fight?
Shaker. Miss Cloud is down, but not hitting anybody, and that with the root on top of Night Stalker despite the BKB. Cannot chase, so they do kill Tree. But if you're EHOME, you're fine with that. You will not be fine with the death on Enchantress, though, and I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. The heal's coming out. The attendance does have another BKB as well. It's not even necessary. Going to get hit by the homing missile. And we'll just tank at the tower, so...
Gabby had that blink. He could pounce on the Drow and the Enchantress at any given point in that whole fight, but he knows that Zinq is were lurking with the blink and the echo slam, so he opts not to do that. Instead, he's just like, all right, let's just fall back, let's just farm this out, let's just wait for our cooldowns and our spells, so after that we can fight again. Super controlled and disciplined maneuver from him, definitely. Considering he's a Night Stalker, I would have jumped. I would go ham right there, like with that blink dagger.
Certainly felt like a prime time, but not the case. And you know what? Especially with the lineups here, and more so on TNC side, I am shocked right now. There's only 19 kills in this game combined. Only 9 for TNC. 27.5 minutes in, and have 9 kills with this lineup. That feels very low of what it should be.
Yeah. I think what usually top players and, I don't know, lower tier pros don't realize is just how important it is to have a solid formation around your cores when you're playing versus such aggressive heroes such as Night Stalker. The way Drow and Invoker are farming basically allows their team to play around them and prevent TNC from making any super aggressive moves. That's why every time they go on Enchantress or on Drow, they perhaps get one kill, but they lose one or two in return. And that's why the number of kills is like this as well. The game is much more passive than we expected. Top lane,
They're going for another one. Enchantress, we mentioned she's a tough kill, but they got the jump with the Primal Roar, and she could not beat KB this time. And no supporting cast nearby to help her. So she's out for 50 seconds, and this is opening now for TNC. Doesn't making a play with it. They have Dark Ascension still ready for Gabby. You got EMP Tornado combo from Midnight 7. He's just trying to delay this as much as possible. Drow will also run in to assist, but Drow now caught by the Stomp.
Caught, but they have no mana on Night Stalker, and it's very deep, so they can't really go for that. Also, I was talking about the formation, but the fact is, if you are playing with your supports, you're playing around Invoker and Drow, and then Enchantress is left alone to press the lane as far as possible, and she pressed it a little bit too far. She pushed it a little bit too far over there, and they punished the Enchantress, as she is the one that's able to survive on her own if she's able to pop that BKB. Sadly,
Are you there? Okay. Oh my god, I thought that was me again. We look good on our end. I think the Discord crashed on for him, or there might have been lagging out. But we see at the bottom lane, the massive TPs coming out from TNC as we hit the 30-minute mark coming up. Okay, you there, Lizard?
We good?
No, that was you. That was you
I
this
guess
time.
Breaky is gone again. I guess only from Discord, guys.
Lizard, can you hear me?
Let's see what's happening here on the bounty runes. TNC take the bottom two on the top lane.
Lizard.
There will be actually, yeah. TNC take 3 bounty runes and 3 and steals 1 away. I'm just gonna continue casting in case his internet didn't fail completely, and you guys can actually.
I'm gonna rejoin the call.
Afraid.
Lizard, you there?
I'm here, my man.
No, I was here this whole time. So the stream's fine and everything. I believe that was either Discord or you. I'm not sure.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I think it might have just been Discord because I actually heard you talking that whole time, but
really?
Apparently you couldn't hear me. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a crazy morning, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. The good news is we're still here. We're good to go. Right. We saw the bounty runes being picked up there, but that was that. Yeah, TNC was clearly trying to maybe play for a fight, but not the case. And instead, we continue on to play a little more passive in that sense game. I mean, you have Armel, we talked about, and he's now got a full Mjolnir. He's got the Blink queued up. Interesting there.
Yeah, you just want to get...
Oh, now he switches.
Yeah, he switches it to the Satanic. Gabby will have his Nullifier on as well. And now if you're TNC, you have to find a way to fight EHOME outside of their base. If you can do that, if you can find these fights somewhere else, then you can take them definitely. But going uphill and pushing without taking any pickoffs first is extremely difficult versus a Drow and Invoker.
Earthshaker going to meet up with the Drow. Speaking of her over here. As, ooh, there's that Nullifier finish. Talked about it earlier. Seemed like a makes sense item on the hero. Not an item we see too often, but this game certainly could do some work with it. It's almost going to run into a tree as a lightning bolt coming down. So this tree, I'll say that, I mean, considering how difficult of a matchup this felt like it was going to be for Tree, is actually doing pretty good. You know, it's not chain feeding. He's got 4 deaths, but not the end of the world.
There's a smoke though. They might run straight into Gabby, and it's on their shrines. They feel comfortable here, yeah. Gyro, Armel.
Well, Tornado caught one of the backlines, Elder Titan. However, they're looking to turn this, and they will. As in queue, he went too deep. Primal Roar catches him in place, and now Gabby's in chase. Dark Ascension, he's got a blink as well to science up. No. He goes north instead for the tree, and they will find him. So they go for the easier kills. Gabby going further. No, he's just going to clean up the creep wave.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't go for the Drow or Enchantress with that Nullifier, because they already used their Force Staffs, their Hurricane Pikes, right? So if he nullifies one, there's no save. There's no other hero that can force it. So then again, he goes for the tree instead. He gets the easier kill, and they just wait out the rush, I guess, which will respawn in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Not the fastest one, but they are playing it much safer. And we'll see if EHOME can actually capitalize on that to get these extra few items that they need, and perhaps get a couple of pickoffs on this gyrocopter and Night Stalker. They need to slow them down right now.
You know, we'll never know how the game could have been if they didn't go these Midases specifically on Invoker and everything. But also, we talked about that earlier, how it was a play of, it was a little bit, it's of course greedy, and the idea that as a result of going this, they were going to take it perhaps a little bit more into the later game. So where I'm getting at, to EHOME's credit, I mean, we're getting to that stage. It's now 34 minutes in, and these Midas pickups are certainly continuing to increase in value more and more, especially for this Invoker. He's working on the Shivas now. Is this a game where you can see EHOME definitely contesting in the late game against a full farm gyrocopter?
No, why not? I think so. I think they definitely have heroes that are able to take down the Gyro and the Night Stalker later on. You have Invoker, Drow Ranger, and Enchantress. Like, that amount of damage can take down anything in this game, as long as you get the proper item builds, right? You're gonna need an MKB if he goes for Butterfly at some point, and that's pretty much it. I think these Midases definitely were the right decision for them, considering how the game went on later on. So they're much better prepared for the late game with them. And also, if it comes to high ground defense, Treant, he fall on the top lane. Let's see. Yeah, he's just gone.
Again, the game continues to be very difficult for him, but another death right there. But hey, if it's only him dying and nobody else, EHOME will be fine with that.
If you're a position 5 like that and you die and you pretty much force every single hero of theirs to rotate in, that's good. But the only problem is Rosh is up and nighttime is there too, so Gyro goes straight into the pit.
This is looking like it's going to be a very easy Roshan for the side of TNC, so not only the Aegis, but of course the Cheese as well. We also see a Lotus Orb on Beastmaster, so he is playing that full utility Beastmaster, the other Vlads. Lotus Orb on top, thinking about a 4-staff next. Sunstrike. Okay, well, there you go. Nice timing there from E97. Gets the kill, Invoker. However, he's trying to get away from this Night Stalker. Eventual 4-staff comes out to help him do so. But Gabby's not done yet. Gabby's still thinking about going in. VT Faded could be the next candidate. Has a BKB. So certainly going to come into play if he does jump. And here we go again. Double silence on top of several heroes. The BKB popped by Faded, but down goes Tree. Has a buyback, by the way. May come into play. Not using it yet. The rest are going to run for EHOME, and they'll be fine. So instead, focusing on the tower. Look at the bottom lane meanwhile. Airshaker putting a little bit of pressure on the tower.
Yeah, there's a problem for KP there. He jumps in, but he can't really roar anyone on Drow Ranger. In the end, just forces himself to roar Treant Protector, who they do take down, but it's not really a major target. So what do they get? 2 towers in return, while Xingqiu is split pushing the bottom lane. Overall, EHOME, I think they retreated fairly well in that situation. It could have been much worse for them. And you can see this blue line coming from March instantly. Take this tier 2, or don't even take this tier 2, just run straight top, because that's where they will try to get out and get some farm.
VT Faded on Drow Ranger has certainly done a great job as well. Second overall in that net worth. Is a little bit behind the Gyrocopter, but considering the state of the game, very impressive, especially considering she's the only core on the team not with the Hannah Midas. And of course, with the way she can flash farm, doesn't need it. Top lane, they want to catch her. Night Stalker's coming in. Zeus is here as well. Okay, the Nimbus Cloud coming out, going to force the BKB. And I do not believe, can they have a Primal Roar? But
they have, but she has Lincolns.
Oh,
so
she has Lincolns, yeah.
Lincolns and BKB. They needed to somehow pop the Lincolns first and then force her to use the BKB, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and she runs away. Does use the 1 BKB charge, so that's pretty much a decent victory for them. And they smoke up. They're going in again.
Oh, this tree, though. This tree will expose them, and Gabby's like, damn it, I want to kill you now. I mean, they'll do that, but again, that's kind of a minor victory for EHOME. Really, it allows the team to see where the others are at. They can now play defensive accordingly, and that's exactly what's going on. In fact, screw defensive, they're going offensive. Gabby going to be jumped. Cataclysm comes out, but the follow-up wasn't really there the best, as a good force staff to save Gabby. Now he's back in. Here comes the Astral Spirit as well. Gabby's taking chunks of damage from this Enchantress, despite the BKB. I'm going to be somewhat careful, but VT faded. Ain't tanky enough.
No buyback.
And no
90
buyback.
seconds without draw, yeah.
All right, 85 seconds. That is quite a while, in fact. And now Earthshaker, he's going to make his way out. Or Enchantress being run down for the Gyrocopter. Look at the attacks from Gyro, by the way. That Mjolnir. And down goes Enchantress for 70. So suddenly, I guess they overstepped right there. TNC, the good reaction, a counter, I suppose. But man, just as we're talking about the bait or the sacrifice for Tree and how it's going to allow them to play defensive, not the case, I guess.
Yeah, the Tree basically is very necessary for EHOME because of growth. I believe that's the necessary control that they have to have. Shaker alone isn't just enough.
Tree?
And Tree. Yeah, speaking of Tree, he's dead again.
But now he's back. He does have Overgrowth, again ready to go, but with 2 cores still dead, both Enchantress and Drow, what is it really going to do? Invoker can just keep throwing abilities at you. Gabby, though, says, I'm tired of your spells. I want to kill you. We'll do just that. Has a buyback on Invoker, but this just could be the beginning of the end now. It's a lineup that certainly has that potential that just snowballs off of one big fight. And that's what TNC's doing.
They do have Ancient Drow coming up in 5 seconds, so I guess Invoker will buy back as that happens. And they'll try to put one last fight.
Eventually. Daytime coming in, so yeah, there is the buyback. BKB TP from Gyrocopter. Looks like it is going to be successful, however. Elder Titan is caught, and so is the Beastmaster. Elder Titan dead, Beastmaster also falls. So they get a couple of kills out of it. Again, requires the buyback on Invoker to do so. They did lose the melee rack spot him as well.
Yeah, not fantastic, is it? Teams gets 2 bounty runes on the bottom lane, Night Stalker 2 bounties on the top lane. Also the buyback force, like you said, 2 lanes down. EHOME is in a really rough. And let's see, Night Stalker mid lane versus Invoker. Can he get him?
Yes.
And that's a dieback, so you don't have a buyback on your Invoker either anymore. But you know, it's EHOME's mistake to try and fight the way they did. Like, Shaker going in super aggressively around that shrine. It's the one fight that TNC needed. TNC needed just that one fight and they're done. I mean, they've been playing really well overall in this game. And it's partly because of them that didn't work. Like, they went back very well. They baited out the Shaker and the Cataclysm, and then they moved back in and just cleared up EHOME. But then again, if you're playing versus TNC, you have to understand just how mobile they are, and those kind of mistakes will be punished.
Yeah, suddenly the kills have added up. Daedalus finished on Night Stalker. Okay, this is one of those you take a screenshot of these items and you're like, guess my hero. And
yep.
It would be very difficult to guess.
I guess the Blink and BKB kinda gives it away because of Night Stalker. Blink BKB Agonist. And partly Nullfire, but Daedalus is just like some next level right there. Some mind games. And Gabby with his Daedalus will be able to take down that Invoker in a few hits, especially now that he's going to find a double damage rune too.
Well, it's funny. I saw this and I'm like, oh, did he go the attack speed talent? But no, he didn't actually do that. He still goes the Dark Ascension cooldown at 25. So that's what I find most interesting about it. But either way, he certainly is going to be putting out plenty of right-click damage.
He doesn't have a BKB in inventory. That could be problematic.
There's a stun. He's got the gem trying to help him out. Cannot catch Earthshaker. Good TP out. Over here, that's a dead Zeus. Thanks to Enchantress and Tree. But now they got to run.
I think Tree needs to sacrifice himself. Yeah, just realize you're gone. Help Fate Beyond get out. Oh, Roar is there.
No Lincolns on Enchantress.
No buyback on Enchantress as well. Lincoln's, yeah, but no buyback is probably the worst thing, as 90 seconds without that edge. No gold for the buyback, actually. And they can just pressure the high ground again. I think, like, the biggest thing that EHOME has got going for them right now is the high ground defense. They should be really strong at it, but sadly, they choose to fight outside of their base time after time, and because of that, they're 2 sides down at the moment. Just look at that damage.
Yeah. It's solid. I mean, especially the Alacrity throwing up, but it's not going to be enough in the end. They can't keep Gyrocopter in place, at least for the kill. But they will, so they will deter the push enough for now. And 40 more seconds for Enchantress. Get her back up. So it feels like a game where EHOME can continue to kind of hold, but it's like to what end, really? Exactly.
If they had another side, perhaps it would be much more even of a game. But at the moment, they're 18k behind, and it's a really good question that you just put, because they can hold, but when can they actually get out of their base and pressure and push, right? Because the moment they're on the low ground, it's so easy for TNC to fight. And now they'll have that Aegis Cheese and an Aghanim. I wonder who they'll give the axe to. I guess March, right? Like
That's what I was
KP
thinking, yeah.
or March? Yeah, it's March. You get that spell immunity when you're casting Echo Stomp. Yeah, not really the best Aghanim Scepter out there, but...
I mean, yeah, it was literally 2 options, because the other 3 already have their ag, so...
And you don't want to give it to Beastmaster too because of the roar, right? Like, you're just gonna blow them away from Night Stalker.
Yeah. It's almost counterintuitive there, so yeah, certainly just give it to... They would have preferred a refresher, I think is the point, but either way, they get the ags. You know, as spell immune while casting that. There's the good news. Speaking of ags, you got... This is plenty to be in this game. Enchantress is trying to get one of her own. Drow... Okay, Drow switched for now. He's actually got the Silver Edge now queued up, but had one earlier queued up. But point is that they're just going to continue to kind of sit in the base and push out what they can. I'm sure they would love an axe on Treant Protector, especially with how DP is right now, but that's not going to happen. There's no way he's even going to get close there.
It's pretty much all about TNC and how they managed to get a couple of pickoffs now. Look, on the top lane. Well, that Nullfire was a bit late, actually. He blinked onto the Invoker, but didn't manage to nullify him on time, and 897 does survive that aggression from Gabby. But considering he had that level 25 and the minus 40 seconds Dark Ascension cooldown, nothing really of big value was lost for him.
275 cast range picked up by Zeus at level 25. He's also got the refresher, by the way.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think this high ground push is actually possible for them even without getting pickoffs. Considering they're 30k ahead and they have this double Nimbus when they start pressuring, I guess they can go YOLO, right? And Night Stalker just jumps in from behind. Still, it does give EHOME an opportunity to come back if they really position themselves well on that high ground and they manage to take down Gyro and Night Stalker.
I was going to say, Gyrocopter actually had 9,600 gold. He just spent a little bit of it. So now he's only at 8,000 gold. But
only at 8,000, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
He's going for that AC, for some utility for the whole team and armor himself. Well, interesting build. Like, you don't really see AC on Gyro often.
Yeah, I was going to say, Night Stalker actually is going AC as well, and he already has a Hyperstone, so...
Some miscommunication, perhaps.
I'm going to assume so, or he might turn that into a Moon Shard, to be fair. Night Stalker, and just hasn't changed yet, but...
Nah, he has the recipe flying over, so... Yeah.
Well, eventually that'll get communicated, I'm sure, as Gyrocopter hasn't really bought anything towards the AC. Again, he could still use a Moon Shard himself. He could, of course, put the Yag's Blessing on, so... Still options there. To spend all that gold he's making. Of course, Divine Rapier is also something to think about, too, for a Gyrocopter. Now, when you're in the lead like this and pushing in, it's probably unnecessary, but maybe? I think he just bought a Basher, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, he got a Basher.
Oh, that's a Lotus Orb. deflect on a KP, and out comes a Sunstrike, and now KP's in trouble. Oh, he stunned himself to lead to a death. That's awkward.
A lot of BKBs were forced out from EHOME, so they still have to be careful. But considering they took down Beastmaster, it's TNC that are going to retreat even with that Aegis. So yeah, this is the power of EHOME's lineup, and I actually expected them to utilize this a little bit earlier, but nope. They tried to fight and they outside of their base and they lost two sides. But now that when they do fight on their high ground, you can really see how strong they are.
With this Evoker, he's using the Ghost Walk to scout things out, see where they're at. Somebody had a gem earlier. Do they still have the gem?
Night Stalker had it, but he gave it, I believe, to Beastmaster,
okay.
and he dropped it. Yeah, I believe he dropped it outside. Yeah, it's in the Dire Fountain right now.
Okay. Yeah, Beastmaster actually already has another one on him, so he's good to go once again. But yeah, until he's up, they won't have it ready to use. Invoker, also almost level 25. It'll be interesting to see what he gets. Of course, at a game like this where you're trying to delay as much as possible, Tornado cooldown does feel pretty good, but Radio Deafening Blast also has its value. Yeah, there's the Aegis reclaim, so enough stalling by EHOME to force out another reclaim. They can keep doing this. It feels like it's like, and it's easy for us to say, spectators, like, come on, they can just group up as 5, go in, double Nimbus Cloud, etc. But it's understandable. They're a little scared. It's quite the tournament they're playing for here.
It's pretty difficult as well. You're playing versus Invoker and Drow. The high ground push is never easy. I think one good item to pick up on the side of TNC would be Abyssal Blade to help them out. But we'll see. Yeah, Jaru is getting there at least. He has, I believe he has it completed too. He just needs to send a courier.
Oh, F or Y even is trying to run this whole time and get out of here. He's going to pop an Overgrowth to make his initial escape, but the chase is just way too strong. And you talked about the Abyssal Blade. There you go. Gyrocopter has it. The Axe Blessing in hand too. Night Stalker. Oh, this is awkward. Okay, well, maybe not. Dark Ascension. He's going in. He wants to make a play. Get some BKBs activated. And Invoker's going to drop like a freaking rock, though. The double Nimbus.
Buyback, but man, that Night Stalker is just 1v5 them. 1v4. Just jumped it.
I mean, again, the Nimbus Cloud was there. 2 of them, in fact. But yes, I get your point. He was certainly not afraid, and for good reason. Invoker will buy back. And that's now time to fall back for TNC.
Yeah, pretty good play by them, forcing that Invoker buyback. Now they have a win condition, right? All you have to do is you have to catch this Invoker and kill him. If you manage to do that, game should be over, as he has no buyback. It was much simpler for them than I expected it to be, but yeah, Night Stalker just manned up, jumped into all of them, and killed off Invoker.
Invoker continues to be so close to level 25. So we're going to try to counterward right here with his Earthshaker. Of course, understandably very scary, as you pointed out. He's in a spot now with no buyback, so death on him could very likely be the actual game. Drow Rangers managed to pull up 7,200 gold. So Drow's going to buy something and could get that Silver Edge, could go a different direction. We saw the Ag she had queued up earlier, too.
I guess Silver Edge would be cool for the passives. It's not too bad. But I don't
There's
know,
so
I'm
much
just
detection
maybe,
already.
Yeah, maybe some more. It's basically for the. It's more for the passives than anything. For the break, yeah, than anything else. But still, maybe some more damage on her would, I don't know, be better. That Aghanim's would be also cool because you could use the Aghanim's Blessing, right? You'd basically have an extra item. One big item that I'm actually excited about is Enchantress's MKB. I think that's super important in this match because once she has that MKB, she can solo down the Gyro. Even though he's tanky as hell, if he's hexed up, Hurricane Piked by the Enchantress with the Electricity, he will die in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, did get the 8% impetus damage at level 25. Yeah, we really can't overlook the Enchantress. That's a really fair point, actually, especially with the Drow synergy. of their precision aura taking effect. Man, it's so weird to suggest in a game like this. It's 33,000 net worth lead, but it does feel like EHOME actually has a shot here. In fact, what does the win percent say? Okay, it's 95 to 5, 95% to 5%.
That's a chance, 5%. Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's not bad at all. I've seen 99-1. I've seen actually 100-0, so it's certainly not there yet. But there is a chance for EHOME. I guess
as long as they don't lose their Invoker, and as long as they continue taking high ground strategically and just staying there, the game shouldn't be too difficult for them to stall. But the problem is, what do you do after you stall the game? Like, yeah, how do you pressure them? They always have buybacks. They are so rich.
Invoker, he's going to have to BKB and continue to run now, and they're chasing. A couple are for TNC, but Gabby, I don't think he's going to be able to cut him off.
Yeah, the moment that Nimbus is on Invoker, he instantly stops BKB. He knows what's up. The Night Stalker is around. That's the way he died the last time. He doesn't want to have that repeated. Actually, Drow went for... well, the shard was there, I guess, already. The MKB is completed now on Edge.
No, 3,700 gold saved. I mean, these cores of the Dire Side are actually getting really good farm still, despite all this defense, it feels like.
Yeah, I guess one of the reasons is definitely the Midas they bought early on, so early. It's still, these items are still helping them out. Well, not Invoker any longer, as he has sold his.
Refresher for Invoker. He is level 25. He did get the Tornado cooldown.
There's another Roshan up, and he's being soloed by Armel's Gyrocopter right now. And that's your Refresher, that's your Aghanims, that's your cheese. I guess Beastmaster has to have to take that Aghanims right now.
It's almost... No do you want
or
him
you
to
destroy
take it? Yeah.
Roshan has fallen to the rate.
Oh, wait, no, they... Okay. A dirt moment there. Beastmaster, it's the Wild Axes now.
Oh, yeah.
With the axe.
Right.
So I'm not going to lie, I was with you there with the Primal Roar.
Nah, he's going to spam the Wild Axes now forever. Yeah. No cooldown. Bulk champ.
That's actually not good. Or not bad, I should say. It's not, fantastic.
It's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah. There's a reason he was the last one to get an axe. It's, what else is there to say in this game, really? It's just, this continues to be a stall for EHOME. And you're playing in a major $1 million tournament. This is the winner bracket finals for Group A. Just game one, but still very important. Everything they can to hold out, and, it's, again, to what end? But, hey, if you're EHOME, figure that out later. Keep stalling. And see when and if the chance comes. But man, it is ridiculous. Enchantress is actually probably the scariest unit right now on the Dire side.
Yeah, you have to respect that bench. Like, you can't just push in. As long as they have enough control with her, and as long as you cannot control her, she will take you down. Look, almost died just from that.
It's beyond taking some good damage from the Nimbus, however. Gets 4 staff pushed around. Gee, that was 3 in a row. Uh-oh, Gerald might be dead. Yep, that's going to be an Aegis.
Yeah, but Tencha has no more mana, so she needs to go back, and now you have a small opportunity, perhaps. But nope, they will move back. They just lost that Aegis, and they're like, okay, guys, this isn't happening. We need to find a different plan to push uphill. And you see how they draw a line? Let's try. I guess they will try to smoke up. Yeah, smoke up and go from the bottom side instead. Try to get the pick off. This smells like desperation. However, Invoker is coming here. And they see him. Yeah,
catch Invoker. There you go. It's not going to be enough damage. Ethereal Blade as well to help save the Lotus Orb. Everything being used, and they're going to keep Invoker alive. But to what end? Once again, Gabby He eats the cheese. He got low. He's back up, though, but he's still being locked down. Force staff into the wall, pushed back in. The Nimbus Cloud is dealing so much damage, favoring TNC. Out comes the Cataclysm. I don't believe it hits. They're fighting at the fountain. Everyone playing back for EHOME. And now TNC has to retreat from here.
Man, that is crazy. I did not see that happening. I didn't see them winning that fight. It's crazy that they managed to take down EHOME and force them to use so many buybacks under their fountain. Because what it looked to me like, Invoker is surviving and Night Stalker is way out of position. EHOME will be able to bounce back. They almost take down Night Stalker, they almost take down Gyro, but they don't take them down. They don't kill anyone, and they're forced to use 4 buybacks on their side. What looked like a pretty bad initiation by TNC ended tremendously well for them. They get like 4 buybacks, 4 kills. Really, really, really well played. And Gyrocopter, he survived on like 5% HP, popped that BKB and Satanic, and moved back in to just wipe the floor with them. Really well played.
I find it almost amusing that the only one to die, not die, that is, on the dire side was Invoker. Everyone else actually ended up dying, despite Invoker being the one that barely survived in the beginning.
And he does have that buyback off cooldown right now. He just needs to gold to actually have it.
Yep.
But I don't know how much it's going to be helpful when none of his teammates actually have got one.
True. Yeah, that's the issue. So certainly the window is open somewhat here for TNC. I will say the one thing that's unfortunate for them is we're about to hit daytime again. He does have Dark Ascension, sure, but we are coming up to daytime in about 20 seconds. And so will that mean TNC, do they wait for yet another Roshan, who's obviously still got about 40 seconds before the reclaim, and then I guess the Aegis was used anyway, so the point is at least 3.5 minutes until a possible respawn. It's likely that's where we're headed, because, again, with so much on the line we keep talking about, and clearly EHOME, they're in the mindset, we're just going to keep stalling this. So, like, to what end, who knows, but that's their game plan. As long as the game doesn't end, you haven't lost, right? So,
I mean, I've seen games like this go in the defender's way, right? In their favor. You defend, you force a couple of bad mistakes from them, and listen, you're playing with a Drow Ranger and Walker. You can take down buildings in a second. Like, if you get one good team fight in which, let's say, a big core from TNC doesn't have a buyback, you can take down Throne in one single push. So it's definitely not impossible for them to win, but TNC, man, they've been playing so well not only in this series, in the last couple of months, that I don't believe they will let that happen. All they have to do is get another smoke pick off, get another smoke initiation the same way they did before, like perhaps wrap around from a different side and get any of these heroes that don't have a buyback. So the execution for TNC is much simpler, that's all.
Sure. It's I knew it was going to be a rough game for Tree going in, and you look at the net worth, it's kind of ridiculous how all he has is Tranquil, and that's
60
really
minutes
it.
in. 60 minutes in Tranquils and a Quelling Blade. That's a feels bad man right there. Press F for 3 and Protector.
Yeah, like, you know, I was talking about earlier, if they can manage to get him an Axe, that actually would be pretty damn good this game, it feels like, but it's not going to happen, so. Pipe Dream, certainly. Snore coming out from Gabby. Yeah, he's getting bored, and understandable. Gyrocopter, did he buy a Moonshard yet? No, he's sitting on 11,000 gold, so I don't know what this is going to turn into. Okay, did he just buy it?
Yeah, I think he did. With the courier, it's flying over. He should have it any second now.
There you go. So now he's got the Moonshard as well. They're going to smoke up. But again, EHOME's literally not leaving their base, so it's not like TNC is going to find somebody trying to just get greedy in jungle. EHOME sitting in their base, continues to just push out the creep waves, and that's really it. They are going to jump in once again. Bottom. Roar coming out. Gabby following up. Tree Protector going to be the focus. Maybe not the best focus, though. They get the sheep on it. Changes, by the way. who's melting, and she's
No
dead
buyback.
for 2 minutes. No buyback indeed. BT faded. Look at that damage coming out, but it's not enough. Armel able to tank it. In fact, Ethereal Blood's not going to save her either, and she is dead too. Then no buybacks across the board, and there we go. Finally, GG's called. TNC nearly a 70,000 net worth lead, but it took every bit of it apparently. EHOME holding as long as they could. Not enough when it's all said and done.
It took them a lot of time to take this game, and TNC, they played like really well. They played one of their signature strategies, right, with the Night Stalker and the Gyrocopter. These two cores, they really do like to roll them together. They really do like to roll that position one Night Stalker quite a lot. But I'm wondering, like EHOME, it's not like they didn't have their chances. They did play fairly well. They had like the strategical mindset that they had about this game was pretty good. Go for these Midases because Night Stalker won't come online until his Aghanim's, then try to just clump up together, defensive posture, and that's pretty much it. Try to shove them off until we're strong enough. But they made that one crucial mistake around the shrine when they fought. Remember when Shaker jumped in aggressively? After that, they lose two sides, and then it's much more difficult. I think if they didn't make that one crucial mistake, the game maybe wouldn't be as easy for TNC at least.
Fair. There ends EHOME in a game that it certainly felt like it could have started getting out of hand, favoring TNC after that triple kill happened from Gabby early on around that 15-minute mark. But they held their ground, and so props for that. But obviously when it comes to pulling through the W, certainly not the case, and TNC gets through in the end. Armel 13-0-10, impressive, especially considering that was an hour-plus game. But that was game one, and TNC takes it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the break coming up. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Lizard. The MDL Major coverage, Group A winter finals continues. TNC up 1-0. Game two coming up next.